Good evening, my darklings, and welcome to the Shadow Hour. I am your host, Madam Midnight. Tonight's tale is one whispered through generations, hidden beneath old church records, buried beneath moss-covered gravestones, and carried on autumn winds whenever the moon hangs low over Salem. History tells us many people were accused of witchcraft during the hysteria of 1692. Some were innocent, some confessed under awful torture. Some died proclaiming their innocence until their final breath. But tonight, what if, just what if, one accusation was true? Tonight's story is a work of historical fiction inspired by the real events of Salem witch trials. It imagines one woman who truly possessed ancient knowledge and who refused to let her fear destroy her. So dim your lanterns, bolt your doors, and remember, not every story ends with ashes. This is the Shadow Hour. And the story I bring to you tonight is called Willow Was a Witch. Salem Village, province of Massachusetts Bay, the year 1692. Winter had been cruel. The earth yielded little food. Smallpox had visited neighbors around town. Fear settled over Salem as heavy as morning fog. The people believed Satan walked among them. Every failed crop, every dead cow, every fever, every stillborn, someone had to be blamed. The ministers preached that witches hid behind smiling faces. Neighbors began watching neighbors. Friends whispered against friends. Children accused their own mothers. Brothers testified against their sisters. No one was safe. But far beyond the village of Salem, hidden deep inside ancient woods, where sunlight barely touches the earth, stood a weathered cottage wrapped in ivy. Smoke curled gently from the crooked chimney. Herbs hung drying beneath the porch roof, used for medical purposes. Bundles of lavender, yarroway, mugsworth, calamine, sage, foxglove, and rosemary fill the air with earthly fragrance. Here lived a woman named Willow Ashcroft. She was 28 years old, tall and graceful. Her skin was pale from long hours beneath moonlight rather than the midday sun. Her hair fell almost to her waist, thick waves the color of polished ebony, with streaks of silver that caught the firelight, though she was far too young to be gray. Her eyes were unforgettable, one a deep emerald green, the other a soft golden amber. Many whispered that such eyes marked someone touched by heaven or hell. She wore a simple dark wool dress beneath a forest green cloak lined with rabbit fur. Around her neck rested an old silver crescent moon, worn smooth with age. Her hands were rough from gathering herbs and tending gardens. Despite what frightened villagers claimed, Willow's face was kind, gentle, and patient. Her smile carried warmth instead of malice. Animals trusted her. Birds landed on her windowsill. Foxes wandered close to her garden, and even injured wolves approached her without fear. Each morning before sunrise, Willow climbed a rocky hill overlooking the forest. She whispered prayers, not to evil, but to the Creator who had fashioned every plant, every stream, and every star. Then she gathered what nature had offered. Willow understood which roots eased fevers, which flowers soothed childbirth pains, which bark lowered dangerous temperatures. Knowledge passed through generations of wise women long before physicians arrived. One rainy afternoon, a frantic knock shook her cottage door. "Please," cried a trembling voice. "My son, he cannot breathe." Willow opened the door. Standing there, soaked by rain, was Martha Ellis. Her little boy lay limp in her arms. His lips had already turned blue. His breathing rattled terribly. "Oh, Samuel," Willow whispered. She carried him inside. She brewed hot tea from mullein leaves. She placed mustard pollets upon his chest. Steam filled the room. She refused to sleep. Near dawn, Samuel finally awoke and took a deep breath. And then another. His fever broke. Martha collapsed, weeping. "You saved him." Willow smiled softly. "No." She gently squeezed Martha's hand. "God placed healing in his creation. I only learned where to find it." Yet, kindness often breeds suspicion among frightened people. When Samuel recovered after every physician had failed, questions began. How did she know? Why do animals obey her? Why doesn't illness touch her? Why does she walk alone through these woods? Fear spread faster than the truth. Soon the accusations began. "I saw her speaking beneath the full moon. She gathered strange plots. Her eyes, they changed colors. My butter spoiled after she walked by. My cow died. My baby cried when she passed." The evidence mattered little. Fear demanded a culprit. On a bitter March morning, the sheriff arrived. Armed men followed. A heavy knock echoed through Willow's cottage. She opened the door calmly. Sheriff Nathaniel Briggs unfolded a warrant. "Willow Ashcroft, you stand accused of consorting with Satan and practicing witchcraft and afflicting the good people of Salem." Silence lingered. Willow simply sighed. "I have healed your wife. I comfort you when your infant daughter was buried. I treated your broken leg." Nathaniel lowered his eyes. "I know, but the court has spoken." Iron shackles bit at her wrists. Villagers lined the muddy streets. Some spat, some crossed themselves. Children threw stones, others simply stared. An elderly woman whispered as Willow passed, "I'm sorry." Willow offered only a sad smile. Inside the meeting house, the trial resembled no true justice for her. The judge accepted dreams, visions, invisible spirits as evidence. Young girls screamed and collapsed dramatically. "There!" one cried. "Her specter, it pinches me!" Another shrieked, "She sends birds into my room!" Willow looked at them quietly. "You know this is false." The girls avoided her gaze. One began crying, perhaps from guilt, perhaps from fear. Judge Hawthorne thundered, "Confess! You shall receive mercy." Willow lifted her chin. "I will not confess to lies." The courtroom erupted. "Witch! Devil! Hang her!" Weeks later, the sentence arrived. Death by burning. Although historical executions during the witch trials were by hanging with one victim pressed to death, the legends imagines a darker fate drawn from European witch persecutions. or burning at the stake became a lasting symbol of fear and superstition. The execution ground filled before sunrise. Mist rolled across the fields. The wooden stake stood waiting. Bundles of dry wood surrounded it. Willow's wrists were tied tightly. The executioner stepped back. The minister raised his Bible. "May God have mercy upon your soul." Willow closed her eyes. She felt the wind, the earth beneath her feet, the ancient oak trees beyond the clearing. Then a whisper, words that no one could understand. Not a curse, not an incantation to darkness, but an old blessing taught by women before her. The wind changed, clouds swallowed the sun, the air vibrated, the fire refused to catch. Villagers murmured among themselves, and then a tremendous gust scattered burnt embers into the sky. Ravens encircled overhead. The ropes binding Willow loosened as though sliced by unseen hands. Her cloak filled with the wind. Gasps filled the crowd. From beneath the folds of her cloak emerged an ancient broom carved from white ash wood and bound with woven willow branches. She stepped upon it as naturally as another might mount a horse. The wind caught her. Higher and higher she rose above the terrified crowds. Children pointed skyward. Women screamed. Men dropped to their knees. Sheriff Briggs removed his hat. "I knew," he whispered. "I always knew." Willow looked down upon Salem one final time, not with hatred, but with sorrow. "I forgive you," she whispered. Then she disappeared into the storm. For weeks, search parties hunted the forest. Nothing, no cottage, no broom, no Willow. Far beyond the mountains, beyond rivers untouched by English settlements, Willow found a quiet valley where no one knew her name, and no one knew Salem. There, she built another cottage. Once again, herbs dried beneath her porch. Children laughed nearby. People came seeking healing instead of vengeance. She delivered babies, set broken bones, comforted the dying, fed the hungry, and asked for nothing in return. When travelers asked where she had learned these things, she simply smiled and said, "From women whose name history forgot." Years became decades. Legends spread. Some called her the Green Woman, others the Forest Mother. She believed that she could do all things, and many believe that she never aged. Perhaps they were right. Some say if you lose your way deep within the forest and you smell lavender carried upon the wind, a woman with one green eye and one amber eye may still appear beside you. She will bind your wounds, guide you home, then vanish before you can thank her. Was Willow truly a witch, or simply a wise woman feared by those who could not understand her? Perhaps only the wind knows. History often reminds us that accusations and horrible history facts, but sometimes we forget about compassion. Whether Willow was truly a witch or merely a woman gifted with knowledge, fear has always had the power to turn neighbors into enemies, and sometimes the greatest magic is mercy. Sleep lightly tonight, my darklings, for you never know where you might find yourself. And if you find yourself in forgotten woods, and someone offers healing instead of harm, be grateful. Not every legend is meant to frighten you. Some are meant to remind us that fear can destroy and kindness can preserve. Until next time, keep your eyes on the darkness, for you never know what's watching, and keep your candles burning, and keep your hearts brave, and always watch the shadows, for you never know what ancient soul may be still watching. And have a good night. Bye, my darklings.